Welcome to the Book Boyfriend podcast, where we dish on everything from the alpha male to the sensitive soul. If you found yourself lusting after a fictional character, you've come to the right place. Here's your hosts, Faith Andrews, Elizabeth Grace, Livia Jammerland, and B.A. Wolf.
Hey guys, welcome to this special little edition of Picking Rebecca Yarros' Brain. We're just high off of reading Full Measures, and we cannot get enough of Josh and Ember and this whole amazing, wonderful book. And we're just so super excited to have Rebecca here. So everyone say hi to Rebecca. Hi, Rebecca.
Hi, Rebecca. Hi. Thanks for having me.
We're so excited to have you. It's such a joy talking to you. A couple of us have met you a few times, and you're just simply the realest, nicest person, anyone can meet. So we're just so happy to have you here.
You just haven't seen me before coffee yet, so.
All right, we're going to jump right into picking your brain. Obviously, we know you're a writer, hello, but you have a life outside of writing. We want to know how your life has changed since you started writing.
Ooh, sometimes I have a life outside of writing. Mostly when I'm not writing, it revolves around my kids. We have 6 of them, so it's, always, we're at hockey with 4 of them. 4 of them all play hockey on different teams, so we are constantly at the rink. Our daughter has special needs, so I'm in therapies. That's when I'm not writing. But since we started writing, the biggest differences, I would say, are I qualify for an office with a door. So, like, donuts, I steal one, and I come in here where the kids won't take it. So it's like my own little woman cave. And other than that, I work a lot of later hours, and I'm gone for signings. But other than that, it's still just mostly wife and mom stuff.
Still the regular roles. Yeah. Okay, so
my neighbors know what I do.
Rebecca, we all loved Josh in Full Measures, and we all have picked our muses, but we were wondering, did you have a muse in mind when you were writing the book?
Oh, yeah, Josh is Theo James.
Oh.
Josh could have been super bad, and I would have thought he was attractive. So I'm just gonna throw that out there. Woohoo! All right, I was
Josh
right
is
on the
always
money.
Theo James.
Now, how much of your own experience as a military wife and daughter is weaved into your books?
Ooh, if we're just talking Full Measures, the notification scene, like when you first, in the first chapter, I'm not giving it away, it's in the back copy, I promise. Notification scene when Ember's dad is killed. My husband was seriously wounded his first tour in Iraq, and a lot of those emotions are from me getting that phone call. And I served on care team, which is where in the book, they're the wives that go in and help and things like that. So there's some personal experiences there. The funeral scenes are from burying our friends. We buried too many of our friends. So there's a lot of personal stuff there. As a military brat, the whole premise behind Full Measures was wondering if my dad had died. Both my parents were active duty, my mom and my dad. And if my dad had died when I was 20, if I would have had the strength to love Jason as much as I do. Jason would be my husband. So I know a lot about military stuff because I was brought up in it and I'm married to it, and it's kind of the only thing I know. But those I'd say are the biggest factors. And hockey, lots of hockey is personal because my boys are at the rink 6 days a week. So
I have chills.
Before we ask the next question, piggybacking off of that, like, okay, so you have daughters. Would you feel like Ember, was so against wanting to be with anybody who served? How do you feel about your daughters if they wanted that?
My oldest daughter and I talk about it a lot, and she would never do it because she was brought up in this. My husband's been through 4 deployments to Iraq and Afghanistan, and she was, alive for all of them. And I think she has a different perspective because, she was around when he got hurt, and she's, been around when our friends have been killed. I grew up in Cold War military. So, the most my dad deployed to, he went to Lebanon a couple times, and my mom was on order to Desert Storm. But other than that, it was like, hey, I have to go to sunny Florida for the week. It's a much different military today than it was then. And I think my girls, I think they'll stay far away from the military. My boys, my second one, we call him the Hulk. He's always wanted to go to West Point. Always, always, always. And so I don't doubt that a couple of them will serve because I think it's in their blood, but kind of hope they will pick a profession where no one shoots at them.
Oh, fair answer.
And I love the military. Nothing against the military, but both my grandfathers were in, both my parents were in, my husband's in, and my brother's in. His uncle was in, his cousins were in. I kind of feel like, hey guys, maybe you could join the Coast Guard. Yeah,
it's a natural mother reaction. Like it's not something that's out of,
right.
Okay. Wow. Okay. So what's your favorite part of writing and what's your least favorite part?
Ooh. Oof. My favorite part of writing is probably the moment when you lose yourself in a scene and you have to almost snap to come back to the world, or you feel those emotions that your characters are feeling. That's my favorite part, is when you lose yourself. Kind of like when you're reading, when you read and you look up and like, oh, there's a whole world out here. I like that moment for writing. The worst part of writing is releasing. I hate releasing. It's stressful and it makes me worry about how it's going to be received, and you're constantly battling. You guys know, like, oh, how are the reviews? Oh, how's the marketing? I kind of wish it would just go out there, and I like the week after release and be like, oh, okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Release is so stressful. I wanted to know, Rebecca, whether you were a plotter or a pantser.
Ooh. A little bit of both. Best of both worlds. I know where I'm going to start, and I know where I'm going to end up, and I know where my false high is. I know where that moment's going to be where everything's perfect, and I know where everything's going to drop out. Other than that, I kind of go and hope to God I just stay on the map, which is how I end up with books that are like 120,000 words, and my editor's like, hey, maybe we could not have a scene where they're randomly playing laser tag. And I'm like, oh.
I'll be at your house tonight to chat because if anybody needs this conversation, this is why I'm here. I'll bring donors.
Anytime, you guys are always welcome to bring coffee or wine. One of the two. Always welcome.
Well, I have an off I want to know, like, Ember loves Dave Matthews. Do you love Dave Matthews? Do you have a favorite Dave Matthews Band song?
Yeah. That is me. In that book, that is me. Song 41 is my favorite.
I knew it. Okay.
It's always, I think, Full Measures wasn't my first book, but it was the first book that I got to put a little bit of my personal preferences into, because, it wasn't YA or urban fantasy. But yeah, Dave Matthews, I love Dave.
How many times have you seen him?
I've only seen him a couple times live. We've been overseas, or my husband's always in Afghanistan, and I feel guilty going without him. So we've managed to go a couple times, and I always I love Dave live, but I want to be like, hey, will you play this song?
I know.
I'm really glad you want to go on the 10-minute tangent.
I
love the 10-minute tangent.
10-minute jam.
But if you could get a little lie in our graves, that'd be great.
Oh my God. And she gets me. She gets me. A Dave fan. I love it.
Now we're all your fans. Now we're all going to be knocking on your door with Barb. Hello, let us in. So
be like, oh.
I'm curious to know, how long does it take for you to write a book?
It depends. My first book took me a year because I didn't know what I was doing, and I wrote a page at a time at 2 a.m. And now Full Measures took 4 months, but I took a month off because my husband deployed in the middle of it. And when you're writing death scenes, it's, not good to do during a deployment. Beyond What Is Given took me 6 weeks. Hallowed Ground took me 2 months. And the one I'm writing right now is going to take me 6.5 weeks. If my editor's watching, I promise. 6.5 weeks, I promise. 3 more days. It's coming.
Okay, so my last question. How do you balance your writing with the demands of such a large family? How do you provide for everyone and still have time to wrangle your writing?
I fail at everything.
Where's your cape, Rebecca? Come on, it's in your closet. Show us.
I legitimately think everything gives a little. My house is not organized. It's like triage. You know, like those nurses, like, you know, like Pearl Harbor, when that nurse like putting the M for morphine on their heads. That's where I'm like, do you have socks in your laundry in the neck? But you know, other than that, if it wasn't for my husband being home right now, especially with the writing schedule I'm on, I don't know what I would do. And I'm so grateful that he is incredibly supportive, because he'll take the hockey shift and I can work, or, you know, he'll pack the lunches or things like that. But I write at night. That's the only way to do it for me. I can't write during the day. The kids will, of course, come in and want to show me things or talk to me. And I don't want to be the mom that's like, no. So I try to only write at night. It doesn't always work, especially when I'm a procrastinator.
So this kind of piggybacks off of that. Do you ever feel guilty if you don't get to write, or if you don't, do you let yourself feel that? Or do you just say, you know what, this is life. I'm a mom and a wife first.
I feel guilty if I'm going to go on deadline, only if it impacts my editor. My editor is Karen Grove, and she's one of my favorite people on the planet. And if I think it's going to impact her, I feel guilty, but I always call her and I'm like, hey, I'm running late. She's like, oh, let me guess, you have a word count too. But I feel guilty only if I'm shorting my kids. If I'm shorting my kids, I feel guilty. Shorting my husband, I feel guilty. I'm shorting the writing world. I kind of feel like I'm not really cool enough for everyone to freak out over anyway. So no one's really missing anything. It'll be okay. It'll be all right.
Everything in moderation, right?
Very true.
Except for wine.
Yeah, but my kids take,
that needs to be
but my
moderated.
kids take pot billing. Thanks for wine. Yeah, lots of wine and lots of coffee. Like, I kind of want to tap in here. Wouldn't it be great if you could have wine on tap at your desk?
Do you see mine?
You have wine on tap?
No, this is beer, but I have 1, 2, 3, 4.
And
She's ready.
This is my writing cave that I don't write in because I haven't, touched a book in a while. My son is 1, so I took a year to enjoy him, and
you should.
And now I'm sitting here and I'm like, I'm gonna write. Squirrel.
I got my book deal for Full Measures. Jason was in Afghanistan, and our baby came because we were foster parents first. She came the same month, so it was like, hey, here's your first book deal, yay, and your baby, enjoy. It was like, okay,
I know.
So it's been crazy for 2.5 years. Just keeps going that way.
But it sounds like a lot of fun.
We have a quick, fun little section of rapid fire questions. So I'm going to throw something out and you just get to answer it. Okay. Okay. Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Well, I could have told you that from our conversation. Heels or flats?
Ooh. Depends on the location. Signing, heels, home, flats.
Okay. iPhone or Android?
iPhone.
Okay. Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
Little black dress or yoga pants?
Again, depends on where. If I'm home, it's yoga pants. Signings, it's yoga pants. I'm kidding. It's little black dress.
Abs or biceps?
On a guy?
Yes.
It's mean.
Biceps. Let's picture Josh.
Josh is always abs. I love Josh's abs.
Yeah. So does Babs. Babs wants him shirtless.
God, it's just like drooling. Every scene.
Chocolate or peanut butter?
Both combined.
Mix.
Is that okay?
Yeah, that's okay.
We have no rules.
Lipstick or chapstick?
Chapstick. I hate lipstick. Can't tell. I hate it.
I'm with you. Beach or city vacation?
Beach.
Paperback or Kindle?
Paperback.
Ah, that's refreshing to hear that in this
David
world.
Dandy or David Gandy?
Everyone has this obsession with him, and I don't.
Me too! I don't see it!
We either David Gandy or you don't.
Nope, David Gandy or you don't.
I mean, he's sexy, and my friend Tessa is always like, look at him, and I'm like, okay, he's pretty. Okay, he's
So
pretty.
who's your ultimate male?
Who's your like number one man
Who
crush?
do you picture for every book you read?
Everyone's different on the books I read. But if I was gonna like have a hall pass, so like let's make my husband hear me. It's gonna be Stephen Amell. Like Stephen Amell, hands down. I would jump that man so fast. I swear to God, I would climb him like a freak. Yeah.
My new favorite person.
I
I'm gonna
know.
go pack my bags. I gotta go, girls.
Grew up here. Can we just read the rest of all of her books so we could do a podcast with her every week?
Yes.
You guys get so sick of my answers. Like again, same answer. I'm like, yes, coffee.
Just coffee.
Well, that about wraps up our time with Rebecca. It's been so much fun chatting with her and picking her brain and just hearing how amazing she is. It sounds like she has quite a lot on her plate, but still manages to be a very enjoyable, pleasant person, obviously. Because if I were you, you wouldn't want to talk to me. So,
I'm telling you, after coffee, don't come at me in the morning and don't text me before 9. Other than that,
we're gonna try that out because I don't believe you. But
no, I'm serious. Like I get angry. I'm like, don't wake me. I'm like the cave in Aladdin, like who wakes me from my slumber. That's like, yeah.
It's so funny. All right. So without further ado, we got to remind you guys, you must read Full Measures. It was so great. It's definite 5-star. You need to read it. I'm already on book 2, and I have no plan on coming up for air. I'm going right through the whole series. I've heard nothing but great things. So everyone better do that. All right, Rebecca, thank you so much for joining us.
Anytime. Thanks for having me.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for joining us. You can find out who will be on upcoming shows and what books we'll be discussing, as well as more about our hosts at www.bookboyfriendpodcast.com. See you next time when we add another boyfriend to the ranks.